was a couple of videos ago, we had a whole bunch of new equipment come in for the shop, and this is the first machine outside of the sander, of course, because we put the sander in the shop, and I've already had it shown in another video that it's up and going. But the second one to get going is the new planer. So this is a 1968 Model 100, and I traced the serial number, is why I know it's a 68. So it's 53 years old, which makes it a couple of years older than me even. It was in a high school, and my cousin bought it in an auction, and then it sat in his basement for, I think, from 2007, something like that, until now. So anyway, this was, the base and the top were separate. These housings on the sides were not on it. This crank here was not on it. This thing was completely loose off of the machine. The top here with the dust collection was off of it. And so the things I had to face with, other than putting sheet metal back on it, was that the bed was not level. It was like tilted to one side. And then there are rollers. Give me just a second here. It's got locks on the lift mechanism that are inside there. Moves pretty nice, huh? But these rollers in the bed here, if I can get it to do it. Well, anyway, you can see how they're movable. They lift out, like so. And neither of those were in there either. Okay, so there's set screws underneath here, and the set screws were set way too low. So when you drop this down in there, it was setting below the bed. So you adjust those set screws, and I had to do that and get them, you know, right to where when the wood goes over it, the roller's on it. And then this roller goes by the in-feed roller, and then the roller in the back is pinched to the out-feed roller, so the boards just go through this thing smooth as glass. It's great. Little to no snipe. I've had a few boards do it, but it's usually because there was a knot or something at the end that kind of screwed with it. So other than that, to get the bed level, and I'm going to bring the camera down here where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, forgive the camera shakiness because I'm holding it in my hand, but so down here, these two screws, as you can see, are operated by these, I don't know what kind of gears you call them, pinion gears or whatever. So the first problem I ran into is that these gears were loose and they didn't turn these, which is how this bed got out of whack. So what I had to do was get them set real good, and then I discovered it was out by, I think it was about 1/8 of an inch. This side was lower. This side over here was actually lower. Oh, by the way, these are the locks for the height adjustment. Once you lock those, you can't change the height on either side. But anyway, to fix that, turns out, and I had to figure all this out. I'd never had one of these planers before, but there's a little bushing down here that's actually the threaded nut for each side. And there's a set screw right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little set screw right here that tightens down that so it doesn't turn. Well, if you loosen that, then the holes in this, there's one on 4 different parts. You can stick a 1/4 inch rod in there and turn it. So what I was able to do is loosen that and turn it until I had the bed level. Now to level the bed, I took one of my machining tools and popped it in here. It's a little T thing that expands, the T expands, and then you can tighten down the handle and it stays in position. And I measured it over here with that, and then brought it across, and it was loose over here. So then I was able to adjust this until it touched over here, and then double check it back over here. It was still out a little bit, back and forth, but as you get, once I adjusted that and tightened that set screw back down, she runs fine. I actually got the original belts that came with it. They were in with all the junk, and hooked them up. And let me take you around the back side here. Oh, I will tell you about this one. The dust collection boot, of course, looks like it's an add-on thing, but it was originally made to go until it pointed straight up. I'm assuming at the school they had the dust collection pipe could drop down directly above it, and they probably had a more powerful blower than mine, because when I tried it that way, I wasn't getting that much dust sucked up. So I cut it apart and modified it and put it back on here so that it's shooting straight out the back, and now I get great dust collection. I mean, it drops a little bit, but every planer I've ever used does. So back here is the motor, and this is a 2 horsepower, 220 volt, 3450 RPM, and pulls what, where is it there? I don't find the amperage. Oh, there we go. At 230 volts, it's pulling 11.2 amps. And of course, it's a double belt. So this thing is fantastic. So give me a minute here to put some things back together. And I will fire it up and show you what it can do. All right, here we go. So there you go. I mean, I think that's pretty decent. I did have to sharpen the knives, and I didn't do the greatest job on that part of it. But you can see there's a little bit of tear out right there, but otherwise no snipe on front or back, and just as smooth as I could ask for. A little bit of 120 and this thing would be ready to go. There's no grooves. I mean, I have no nicks in the knives. That was a bonus. But yeah, I am quite happy. So next video will be the new table saw, which is actually set up and in here, but I don't have the fence for it yet. And I'm going to do a video about installing the what is it, Delta fence, I think. Anyway, we're gonna put a Delta fence on the table saw in the next video and kind of show you the table saw, which is a 12-inch, which is pretty freaking awesome. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You have a good day. Bye.